I gotta do that every time. We gotta get more sound effects on this board. That's a fault of mine. But shout out to wah! It's the wah! Wah! Needed a little bit of a wake up as we get into the second hour of the Diary Room. The Diary Room. WMSC here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. And we are a Big Brother commentary show. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Glad to have you here. And we're gonna enter.
We're gonna enter the White Locust.
The White Locust Resort, and so I am for Chris. I'm unhighlighting our notes, so don't go there just yet.
I'm still in the other browser tab.
So what we are doing is first of all, we usually have Sunday night episodes. And this week, because of the VMAs airing on CBS for the very first time, we did not have a Sunday episode of Big Brother. Instead, they moved it to Tuesday.
For some reason.
They were like, yeah, you could squish that over. Fine, whatever. So I did watch the VMAs. I thought it was very good. Shout out to Youngblood. There are a lot of people who finally get it now.
Yes.
I've been known.
That was a beautiful performance.
Oh, it was so good. Shout out to Youngblood and his love for Ozzy. This is what Ozzy would have wanted. We're talking about Big Brother. And so I'm glad that I got to see that. But now our precious, beloved Sunday episode of Big Brother was scooched to Tuesday. And so those live feeders, we had a weekend of tummy hurt, heart hurt, brain hurt. But Chris doesn't know the horrors yet.
I have very minorly awakened to the horrors. I have bits and pieces. I have concepts of the horrors.
Chris is watching it now.
Yes, that's what I was just about to get to. We're cutting to the chase. I did not have time to watch this episode because I can't get live episodes for some reason. I haven't yet figured it out yet, but hopefully I won't have to ever worry about this ever again anyway. But thank you, CBS, for airing this episode last night when I have an 8 a.m. the next morning and right after my Big Brother show covering your show, the Diary Room 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. So I started watching the episode as much time that I could get before the air of this episode of the Diary Room. So I have already made it 30 minutes into the episode. We only have like 10 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming everything's about to go down super soon. Let's do a quick recap.
Yes.
So
okay. So give me one indication of where you are, or are you pausing it?
I have paused directly after a specific event.
Okay. So let's recap, and then you let me know when we're getting
to keep going
to where we are. I will not read my first note.
Yes.
One of the best aspects of this episode, I will say, is we get Tyler Crispin. He's on the show.
Oh, I love Tyler.
I do love Tyler. I know people have opinions about his gameplay and whatnot. I just remember really liking him. Again, season 20, I was still putting the pieces together on like how the game operates. When was that? 2018? I was 16, something of the sort.
Something like that.
Putting the pieces together, and he's the runner-up of BB20, which is really fun because we had the winner, Casey Clark, just a moons ago. So we had the top two of Big Brother season 20 in the BB27 house, and he was brought back to host the competition, and essentially he played this role where he is recruited by the Mastermind to work at the White Locust Resort. Of course, this is a play on the White Lotus. I know so little about it, but it was cool. They have theme song that I could use on my Instagram post. And my mom kept saying like something about pina coladas and it's gonna be deadly and it's gonna.
Yeah, I have no idea what the White Lotus is. I actually misspoke and said the White Lotus earlier. If you didn't notice.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
We were talking about this, and I was like, oh yeah, it's the White Lotus.
But alas, it is locust.
It's the locust.
For they have to be evil and mischievous.
True.
And and thus we are on the White Locust Resort, and they welcome back Tyler to host this competition. And before the comp starts, they're all just kind of chilling. They're like, Ava's so excited that Mickey's gone. She's so pumped up about this. And then the house guests are welcomed into the backyard to refreshments and snacks, and they're enticed with all these lovely foods and such. And then Tyler comes out. And I hope you liked those fancy foods before, because now there ain't nothing fancy about this Tuesday night episode, because I would say welcome back, but we don't. We do not welcome back. We reluctantly look upon the White Locust hamster wheel competition, or the computation, as I wrote in my notes. I was typing furiously. We welcome back this hamster wheel competition, and there's two sides of this comp, because there's a part 1 and there's a part 2. So we'll get into part 1
part
first.
2.
Well, the first part of it,
I understand isn't
the hamster wheel itself.
Yes.
And
right.
Honestly, I didn't pay much attention to the rules of this, but essentially all the house guests have to slide, it looks like little
the
cups
disc,
across 3 long tables, and they had to get them into the
we're
end
talking
point.
About the pre
LOL. Before we get into
Yes.
the hamster wheel.
True.
Where again, this is foggy to me because I know what's happening, and it's basically the person who wins this competition wins safety for
the night, because the loser goes home.
Yes.
He said that right away. That's what's happening.
And so that person also gets to choose the first person who participates in the dreaded hamster wheel. And so
dreaded hamster wheel.
I'm pretty sure everyone gets to compete in this, which is also very interesting that I'll mention later. But so they slide the disc, the cup across the table, and everyone kind of just crosses their fingers and hopes for the best. Lauren does pretty well until, of course, Lauren is overthrown by Keanu, and then Keanu's overthrown by Ava, who ends up having the best time in this comp, which means she wins part 1. She is safe from the second part of the competition, and she gets to pick the very first person who gets to participate in this hamster wheel comp. Now, this hamster wheel comp, I'm gathering the majority of the house guests didn't fully understand how it worked. And to be honest, I was a little bit foggy on it as well. But I do loosely remember that they played a very similar, identical even, competition in reindeer games, which they had in 2023, I believe.
It was last year.
Well, it was whenever Cameron was on Big Brother.
So it was okay.
And because I remember he made it to jury, and then he went immediately into reindeer games, and it really messed with his head, and he was out first. Something like that. And besides him, it was a lot of BB alumni who participated in this game, where essentially they had to hamster wheel. They're in this giant wheel, and they have to move the wheel around because there's a maze in front of them where they have to navigate this little disc through the maze to the center. And then push a button, I think.
Yes.
Is the very end of it. And each round, very important to note, the time that the player has decreases. And in this case, it was by a minute. So they started with something like 6.5. And so the first person would go in 6.5 minutes to play. If they succeed, the next person gets 5.5, 4.5, and so on. And so An added layer to this competition is the person with the best time, so who completes it the quickest, ends up winning HOH. Which is also very interesting to note that Keanu's eligible.
Yes.
Despite...
That's the second time this season, actually. That's weird.
Yes.
Second time this season that HOH, who was HOH the week prior, is eligible to play in the HOH competition the next week.
What's up with that? I don't know what's up with that, but oh my gosh, yeah, was that Vince? Yeah, that was Vince when he played for, interesting season. But I'm not so pressed about that, because of the fact that the outcome of this competition is whoever loses this comp is eliminated from the game.
Going home.
What do you mean? And again, this is not super surprising.
The Mastermind requires a sacrifice.
Like, oh my God. So he requires a sacrifice. And the truth is it's half not surprising because that is exactly what they did in Reindeer Games. With the first person to not complete it is eliminated from the game. The difference is Reindeer Games was shot in like a week or two. It lasted, I think it was like 3 weeks, 2 episodes a weekend, something random like that. Like it didn't last that long. Reindeer Games was a couple episodes where it was not Big Brother whatsoever. No. It had Big Brother players because in a game that lasts 3 months, it is just as much, if not a little bit more social than it is competition based. You win competitions to get yourself safety, to rip yourself off the block, sure, but socially, you get yourself off the block. You get yourself to not have votes against you. I mean, I mentioned before, like, complete social game, Ashley took herself off the block / was in a renom during Lauren's HOH weeks ago because she kept pushing and she did it. And now Adrian's gone and Ashley's still in the house. It is social, it is competition, it is both. But in Reindeer Games, the social aspect was like the tiniest little bit because they shot it so quickly. And it was not a real season of Big Brother. If you are going to say that Nicole is the first 2-time winner of Big Brother, you are wrong. I'm not going to discredit the win. Yes, she won. Others lost. And I don't care if you're a fan of her or not. She did not win Big Brother twice. No. She won Big Brother once, and she won the only season of Reindeer Games to date. I won't discredit her for that. Point is that it was a 99% competition-based game. And unfortunately, Danielle was eliminated from that game, and I was upset about it then too. And it's a bummer, but it was close to purely competition-based show.
Big Brother.
Because any kind of relationships you have were most likely from past seasons or the fact that you know these people outside of the game, because a good majority of the cast for Reindeer Games were returning players, with the exception of Cameron, who then was targeted because they're like, we don't even know this guy, whatever. But now they bring this Reindeer Games hamster wheel into the actual season of Big Brother, like 60-something days into the game. We are entering the jury phase. And you are going to tell me that the very first member of the jury is now in the jury house because they can't win a competition in a social strategy game.
Well, I will say this is a very social strategy game.
There is a social element.
There is a social strategy aspect to this competition.
I can't discredit that.
That you cannot look past.
I will admit that.
80% of this competition is that.
I don't know if I'd say 80.
Maybe like 70 or 60. It's more than
closer to 60.
I think it's, me personally, I think it's bigger than the actual competition itself. Obviously, the actual competition itself has a ton of merit. But the only scary part is the order in which you go. And the order in which you go is determined on your social standing.
I think I will not discredit that. I will agree with that. However, I also believe that there are just simply some house guests who were not destined to complete this task. And if I were faced with this, and if I had a great social game, and I was chilling, and I was like, oh, I'm so good socially that I'm not picked to play, and then everyone else is so good comp-wise that I end up being picked to play with like a minute and a half left, I'm going home. And luckily, I'm not in that situation. So it is, I'm going to say it is 50-50 even. But you're right. I'm not going to discredit the social aspect of it.
I will say it's 50-50 even now.
And I will get even more into that as we get into the order in which people are picked. We'll address, again, Ava is safe from this competition, and not only that, but she gets to pick who the very first person is, and she is stressed because she does not know who to pick first. The look of horror on Rachel's face and the reaction from Keanu lead me to believe that Keanu and Rachel are the two people in this house who really understand how this game works. And it is so easy for me on the outside because, people were saying it was a Reindeer Games-esque kind of thing on Thursday, Friday. I don't know how they know this, but that was put in my mind. So again, I'm reminded about past events. Obviously, I know, I'm not in the house, but I feel like those are the two people that really locked in and understood the importance of being, if you are picked ever to play this game, you want to be picked first. And if not first, maybe second. So Ava gets the chance to pick this person, and Rachel immediately grabs Ava's arm and drags her into the pantry. Keanu follows.
Keanu was talking to her actively.
And it is so, this part is really rough because Ava was very upset later that Rachel pulled her arm. And the thing is I understand that Rachel is super pushy. But she just does this. This is who she is. And whether you like it or not, that's who she is. And it is not Ava's responsibility to like it. But at the same time, Rachel's horrified, and she recognizes that she has to go earlier than later if she ever goes, because she does not have a great track record when it comes to competitions. And I believe this is a lot of her frustration with Keanu butting in, where and I wish she kind of said it more directly, but she's basically like, Keanu, you don't need the extra time. If you go later, I'm sure you're fine. He's won a handful of competitions.
I wouldn't want to be first, though.
You wouldn't want to go first.
If I was Keanu, I would still, or I think I misspoke. If I was Keanu, I would want to go first regardless.
This is so true. But I understand coming from Rachel's perspective because she obviously wants to save herself and she doesn't want to mess up Keanu's chances. I don't know why I keep saying, I'm saying Keanu. I don't want to, she doesn't want to necessarily, no. La policia. All the brain rot that all the house guests are missing out on. Oh, thank goodness I get the brain rot. But she doesn't necessarily want to mess with his chances. But it is really like every man for themselves at this point, trying to convince Ava to pick them first. I do think that Keanu didn't need to go first and he would be fine.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I also obviously can't blame him for wanting to go first. And it is very interesting because Ava, she asked for volunteers. And it's crazy that we're just like in a household where it's like, oh, guys, who wants to go first? Like we did, at least at the beginning. I understand that there is not a great track record for first HOHs. He's still chilling at this point, so maybe that's not so true anymore. But there have been many in the past week one head of households that have just completely flopped. And so these people, week one, they don't know anybody. They don't know who to target because they don't want to make an unnecessary target on their back. They're very nervous about volunteering. And I can't blame Jimmy for asking for volunteers. You don't know these people. We are in the jury phase. You know all of these people. And Ava gets to choose essentially the safest person to play. And she's like, who want it? What?
Why are we doing this?
And so Keanu and Rachel raise their hands. She's like Like, Rachel is borderline holding back tears and trying not to roll her eyes at the same time. She probably rolled her eyes at some point, though, because she's clearly volunteering herself to go. She wants to give herself the best chances. Keanu wants to give himself the best chances. And then Ava's like,
Vince.
What? What? What do you mean? She doesn't even like him. She's been calling him Vinny the Lip the entire season, and she's like, he could go. And she justifies it by saying that, you know, he's friends with everyone. I'll let him. Basically, she's like, whoever he picks next, I'll let the house blame him for the order in which people are picked. When she had full control over how to start this, I think this is what they're referring to as the safety chain. People, I don't understand the chain of safety for no one is guaranteed to actually complete. Like the first person could very well go in at 6.5 minutes and completely flop. Like, I don't know what the safety part of this is, but she does pick the first person that has the best chances of being able to complete the competition. She picks Vince of all people, who luckily he's smart enough to be like, okay, I'll do it. At least he wasn't like, no, please don't pick me. At least he has enough going on that he says, okay. And then there's some other people. I mean, pretty much no one else volunteered to go first. Someone like Will is like, I'm just literally going to sit here and hope that nobody picks me. And that, again, is part of the social aspect of it.
It's a strategy.
Where enough other people are picked so that hopefully, like, in eliminating a minute from every wave of this competition, it is a guarantee that there are at least one person, if not a couple more, can't do math that quickly, that will not have to participate.
On top of the 2 people who have it easy.
Yeah.
So you're basically removing like 5 people.
And so his strategy, knowing his social standing, I will say not a terrible strategy. But for the rest of the house, it is ridiculous to not want to go first. Unless you're just really banking on going second. But then now, if you want to go second, you're dependent on Vince. Because everyone could depend on Vince.
Everybody wants to depend on Vince.
Everyone could do that. He's fine. He's really loyal ally. Clearly not. And so Ava, in her whatever wisdom, if she's got any at this point, decides to go with Vince because he's friends with everyone. And then he could face blame. So he has, I want to say, 6.5 minutes.
Yes. To
complete this competition, and he does so. And I don't think they really show. They're not showing the time because. I told you in the hallway.
There is no spoiler because there is no HOH reveal.
They don't even reveal who the HOH is because they spend the whole time on this. And so Vince goes in, and the way that the house guests know that he completes the task is house guest. They have like the really ominous announcer voice from the Mastermind announcing that Vince has been, pause for suspense, spared. He is completely fine. Everyone, more sighs of relief. Vince is completely fine. And now Vince goes into the house and he has to pick the next person to play. Important to note that they have
10 minutes.
10 minutes to discuss. So I know beforehand some people were upset that Ava picked Vince because over time, of course, the house guests reflect on it. And when I say people, I mean outside of the house. We're like, why would she pick Vince? And we thought maybe it was just in a really quick panic. Like she had to stand there in front of everybody and immediately pick who it was. No. She had 10 minutes to talk to people and then delayed it even further when she was in the living room, and then she still picked Vince. So Vince has 10 minutes now, just as Ava did, just as whoever else after him, to talk to people and decide who the next person is. And it is at this point that people, I believe, start to understand how this game actually works. And so you pick, at this point, I think you pick a close ally that you think is going to win. I think if you pick someone like Will, no offense to Will, hasn't had a single competition win, it's just a way to block the competition and have everyone else safe because there's a good chance that he won't win. So do you go for someone like that, or do you go for a close ally, giving them the second best opportunity to win the game with 5.5 minutes? And so Vince, yeah, he's friends with everyone. So everyone's like, yeah, he'll pick me. Bruh.
Brr, no, that's not true.
And so at the end of the day, his two closest allies, people, friends, more than friends, are Morgan and Lauren. And so Vince is rationalizing what he should do, which one of the two he should pick. And so Morgan is talking to Rachel while Vince is playing, saying, I'm going to pick you next. And then Lauren is talking to Kelly, essentially promising to Kelly, I am going to pick you next. And so now Vince has to think strategically, I want to save Lauren, I want to save Morgan, which one do I choose? And so he ultimately decides to go with Lauren, because he believes that he could convince Lauren to pick Morgan more than he could convince Morgan to pick Lauren. I had to concentrate really hard on that. There's a lot of names that sound very similar. And so he goes with Lauren. Morgan, very upset. Very upset. That's her number one ally and didn't pick her. So, again, Chris, do I have more time?
We are arrived.
We are at the point in which you are watching. So are you...
Lauren...
You are actively watching.
Lauren has been spared.
Lauren has been spared.
Lauren has been spared.
And again, we do not know her time, but we do know that the next person will have 4.5 minutes to
with that,
complete. Okay.
Our live commentary has started.
All right.
Lauren has just left the competition, and she wants to pick Kelly.
Yes. And this was established before...
Yes.
She was even picked to play herself. So yeah, as a reminder, Chris is now finishing up the Tuesday night episode. You are listening to his live commentary and reactions, while I not only know all the outcome, but I know who's on the block next week.
I don't quite understand how they expect Vince to, like... He basically, like, made a decision with this choice because Morgan's, like, pissed at him.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea where this is going to go. I know, unfortunately, I have been spoiled on the outcome of the entire night. But... He
definitely drew a line a bit, but I do understand his reasoning because he thought that he could convince Lauren.
Yeah.
And knows that he could not convince Morgan, which is not untrue.
Okay. So Morgan goes in. She has just gone in. She has 4.5 minutes. I'm cutting out all of the fluff because, like, they're just going to start talking about whatever at some point. So I'm not trying to sit here and be idle because this is supposed to be action-packed. So Morgan wants to pick Kelly. That's what's going on right now.
That Lauren does.
Sorry?
That Lauren wants to pick Kelly.
Morgan. Oh, I thought their names are like melding together in my head.
They both end with N, and they're both close to Vince.
All right. Go Morgan, but we don't see her time. But Morgan has been spared.
So Vince did make the right decision then. If he wants to save both Lauren and Morgan.
All three of us are safe.
And convinced Lauren to pick Morgan to give her the next best time in the game. So, like you said, Morgan wins, and now she has to decide the next person to face the hamster wheel, and that person gets a mere 3.5 minutes to play. Chris's jaw on the floor.
All has been revealed.
Tell me more.
So, instead of picking Kelly, they thought that she would be too good.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to send Rachel in with 3.5 minutes.
Rachel does agree to this.
Yes.
She
is fully aware. There's a little ad break right now.
Ad break.
There's not for us, but
we yapping.
We're still yapping. We can continue to yap over this because I have many thoughts. So they want to try and, I guess, surefire get rid of Kelly within the judges that barely freaking exist anymore.
Because there's no real alliances in this season.
It's not real. Why are we constantly talking about it like it's a real thing? It's
all we have to cling on to.
That's what we've been doing for the past 3 weeks.
Because all we have are final twos, air quotes final twos, because Vince has one with practically everybody, and we don't have alliances because the blockbuster doesn't allow for big alliances to dominate, so they haven't even bothered.
And that's why I love the blockbuster, because it just makes the game more interesting. We have ties getting cut on a weekly basis. We have clashing. There's people arguing. There's people making enemies and stuff. It just feels better. I've expressed this so many times.
I like it. I do like that aspect. I don't like big alliances dominating, but it is very strange this season to not even have normal-sized alliances. And I think that the judges, if you believe it exists or not...
Did we have a normal-sized alliance last year?
Don't ask me about that. Just ask me about the silly one-liners. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Point is...
Okay, so Rachel has 2.5 minutes.
Are you sure?
Yes, she does.
It's 2.5?
No.
3.
She has 2.5. Like that, it just cut back. Like she started with 3:30.
Oh, okay.
I said that
see.
when she went in, and we just came back. And then they put her on 2.5.
Rachel had 3.5 minutes total, and now Chris is watching the last 2.5, probably now closer to 2 minutes of Rachel's hamster wheeling.
So Keanu is now scared.
Mm-hmm.
Keanu is very scared.
Well, the next person only has 2.5 minutes, and that's not much time.
Rachel is struggling. Rachel's struggling bad.
Did she make it to that dead end yet?
She is currently in the dead end.
I had a feeling.
We're still... Okay, now we're back in the house.
They're discussing the future.
And Morgan is mad at... or she's frustrated.
My note is so angry.
Yes. There we go. Exactly. That's perfect.
That's how Morgan is feeling. Platonic feelings towards Vince, of course. I can't blame her. Relationship, showmance, or
Lauren is also frustrated.
She wanted to save Kelly. She wanted to give Kelly a decent shot.
Yes.
Even though she's a comp beast, and
we're back to Rachel.
Kelly would probably do well even with little time. But here we are. We're watching. Chris is
What are you doing?
live.
She's not even going the correct way. She just ignored 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. They skipped 3, 2, 1. And Rachel is out of the house. Rest in peace. Oh, wait. I need to hear this. Because they have to make the announcement as well. Rachel has been... And then dramatic pause. Sacrificed to the White Locust. Her game is over.
The way you said that out loud, and I just got chills in the studio. And I have known since Friday. We are on Wednesday.
I found out last night. I saw in a comment section, someone said to bring back Rachel. And I was like, where did she go?
Now you know what I mean by the horrors.
She
failed so tremendously. She essentially got stuck in this dead end of the maze.
You know what's hilarious about this?
What is hilarious? Oh, no. Oh, he's laughing.
Another ally sent another ally home.
I'm sick to my stomach in the studio, by the way. I just want to mention that I am not okay, and I have been mourning for days. My whole life has felt off since I found this information out on Friday. And
Tyler
doesn't know. Well, his immediate reaction, he puts his head in his hands. And Tyler, who, you know, is probably just excited to be on the show again, hosting a competition, is witnessing the Rachel Riley get eliminated from a near perfect game, never once on the block. She has no votes against her, and she's eliminated because of a hamster wheel competition on day 60 something. And he's there, and he has to host this. And I don't know where you are, but eventually she does go to him. And he is the only redeeming quality of this episode. Shout out to Tyler Crispin. Some people were complaining about him. I'm like, don't you dare. This is not his fault whatsoever. He was just there to host a competition. And again, the only redeeming quality of this episode, if I do say so myself, and say so I shall.
Okay. Now we're dealing with the fallout.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to work to win this game. Wow.
I cried. my eyes, I was tearing up despite knowing the outcome.
Wow. That's kind of aura, though. If you want to be a legend like me, then you have to work to earn it.
She clocked them.
That was I agree. And I'm glad that she's in jury because there's a lot to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, she said, "Don't disappoint me" to Keanu.
Yeah.
So perhaps her vote is not out the window.
For Keanu?
Yes.
Yeah.
If Keanu makes it to final two, as long as he doesn't sit in the back seat from now on,
mm-hmm.
I'm sure that he will have her vote convincingly.
And I don't think he has. I mean, with his HOH, he got lucky that Vince didn't go home. But because Vince didn't go home, I would say that was a successful HOH. If he continues on that path, I think he could definitely have her vote. And the unfortunate part of all of this is the whole thing. But one of the most important aspects is the thought process of having Rachel go when she did was to earn her safety. Because
they're doing...
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Where are you? Tell me what's going on.
Okay, so now, big info dump. Episode is over. I have made it to the end of the episode. Now, few announcements for those unaware that I just found out live. The episode tomorrow or tonight, we are live.
Sometimes we forgot. That's okay.
So the episode tonight is going to be HOH, Noms, and Vito. Mm-hmm. In one, mm-hmm. because it's a half hour. That's why they had the hour and a half. This has been planned. They planned this. I'm convinced they planned this. That's the reason why. Can you blame me for thinking this? Do you think they also planned this?
Wait, tonight
is
Wednesday,
an hour and a half episode.
Well, it always is an hour and a half.
Yes. But they did that because obviously they knew the VMAs were coming, and obviously they knew.
I think they
were gonna do a twist.
I think they get what they can. I think that was the thing.
It just lucked out.
It did luck out because I think they definitely have a lot of time
much time now.
Unpack. Again, it's very strange for someone like me who I fully know HOH, Noms, Vito, Renoms, and I'm like piecing together what I know and what I don't know. And I wonder if they'll keep Renoms a secret until tomorrow, the Thursday episode. They sometimes like to do that. Important to note also, because obviously we're talking about the Sunday episode that actually happened on Tuesday, that this is a schedule according to Hamster Watch. Shout out to Hamster Watch. There are a couple other dates that are a little out of the ordinary. We don't get any of them this week. So tonight, Wednesday night, September 10th, is, as usual for this season, is a 90-minute episode. We do get a 2-hour episode on Wednesday the 17th, Thursday the 18th.
Oh, yes, they have the back-to-back 2-hour episodes.
Yes. And other things, Sunday the 21st is at 10 p.m. Wednesday the 24th is at 10 p.m. This is all Eastern time. And Thursday, the 25th, will be 8 p.m., 90 minutes. And the finale is Sunday, September 28th at 8:30 p.m., a 90-minute finale. So just an important thing for your schedule. Again,
calendar updates.
Your calendar updates. That's out there on the internet. But they luckily have an hour and a half tonight to unpack as much as they possibly can. Because like we said, they showed the whole comp except for how fast they participated.
And that also narrows down our options. Now you know who it is.
That's actually a really good point.
And I want to highlight the fact that there are only 3 people who can potentially be HOH this week.
Yes. And that's another big thing where, well, it's actually really interesting because it's not Ava. Like, that's not a surprise. She wasn't even eligible to play. But again, she got her safety from the elimination from the White Locust Resort. But she basically decided, in Vince, who decided the next person, who the next, who HOH would be. Which, you know, is something that I don't think she took into account.
That's what Rachel was trying to... She was like, you're also taking into account... You're also selecting the next HOH as well. Yeah. When she was talking to Lauren, I think it was. It was one of them.
One of them. Because she, again, like Keanu, was like the only people who really clocked this at the very beginning. And as time went on, they started to understand it a little bit more. Again, I can't blame them. I know so much because I am outside of the house where people were talking about reindeer games all weekend. And so, yeah.
Were they actually?
So...
Everybody thought...
Before we get into some of my final notes, let's go backwards and let's talk about my experience this weekend.
Yes.
Let's talk about my experience. So
let's hear it.
I mentioned in hour 1 that I am a live feeder and on occasion, and I love all the podcasts. I'm RHAP pilled and I'm not afraid to admit it. And shout out to Taron Armstrong and his book and his cat. And so I am typically glued to the live feeds at midnight Eastern time because that's when the episode ends on the West Coast. And usually the feeds are back sometime between then and like 1 a.m. And if it was a longer comp like The Wall, they actually showed that live on the feeds. And so they weren't coming back. And a couple hours go by. And no, I was not staying up purely for the live feeds. I just am awake. I get my work done in the middle of the night. Oh, whoopsies. And hours were going by and nothing was happening. Of course, I went online to try to figure out what was happening. And CBS, I guess, gives out information to select people. And I'm in the Chat BCC group for Rob Has a Podcast that includes a Pluto TV representative. Taylor Hale is in it. And Sharon Tharp. And so amongst all those people, somebody confirmed you guys could go to sleep. You're not going to get feeds until tomorrow. And then sometime the next day, so this is last Friday the 5th, and a great album by Grandson came out overnight, I will say. That was the redeeming quality of the weekend. But sometime on Friday, there was an announcement that the feeds would indeed not come back until 9 p.m. And so that to many, including myself, put 2 and 2 together. 9 p.m. on Pacific time is the end of BB Unlocked for the West Coast. And so there was a lot of frustrations. Trying to think of the way to word. People are so upset.
So what happened on Unlocked?
Well, so the frustrating thing about this, first of all, is the fact that CBS completely withheld live feeds from the live feed people, whether you get it free through Pluto TV or you pay for it. I personally watch it on Paramount Plus, which we pay for, but you can get a free version of the feeds on Pluto TV. Point is people are here for feeds. The downfall of BB Canada was that they took the feeds away. And once they did that, I think they only lasted a couple seasons, if not just one, and then they canceled the whole show. And so BB Can is gone.
Oh my gosh.
So needless to say, I really don't want to end up going down that path.
That won't happen.
We do have feeds, but in this 24-hour period, the feeds were completely blocked from us, and people are putting 2 and 2 together and realizing that the feeds were withheld so that people would watch Unlocked. And it is really frustrating.
Is that true?
I mean, did they come out and say it?
Are we sure?
I am pretty sure. Because clearly they're hiding things. They didn't want to show us what happened. At this point, by the way, we are convinced, the general, people watching feeds, people watching the show, whatever, are convinced that we're ending in Janky World 2 or Dire Fest 2, which, if you're not familiar, that's when they lock the whole house or half the house outside and they have to stay in the backyard for the entire week. We at this point are convinced that the White Locust Resort could be everyone is locked outside.
Why did they do that?
I dislike it.
Twice.
and Janky World, I love Janky as a character. I think as a cutie, I was so upset when they killed him. But they did bring him back in the end, which helped my soul. So that's like the only thing production's really done right. Yeah, I said it. And so and
that's your boss.
Shout out to Janky. But they were hiding what they were doing with them, locking them outside. In the end, now we know that they weren't hiding that they were outside because they weren't. And so what happened on BB Unlocked was they did the usual whatever. They did have Lance last name from NSYNC. He was actually really fun. I liked his enthusiasm. You could tell that he actually watches the show. Bobby Moynihan in the very first episode, it was like, okay. The commentary was so, but the commentary was fine. I am not a huge fan of the show. I am a fan of giving Taylor Hale the spotlight. I don't dislike Derek.
I like Derek.
I
like both of them.
There's some controversy around him that I have to say I'm not too familiar with, but I'm going to say on the show, it is very funny seeing Derek and Taylor that are very opposites when it comes to certain opinions. So much so that they're at some point very predictable in the sense that, like, Derek doesn't like whimsy. I could tell very quickly he does not like whimsy. And that's fine. It's whatever. The show is fine. I watch it. Other people have taken a stand and they're like, I'm not going to watch Unlocked ever. I'm not taking it that far. I think it's fine. It's cute. It's whatever. It is a very polished version of the podcast that I watch. Therefore, it is kind of robotic. It is okay. But the second that they then hinder people's fun,
BB watching experience.
Exactly. In taking the feeds away in favor of Unlocked, that is what many people were saying. I am okay with Unlocked so long as it doesn't ruin what we have going on. And unfortunately,
I don't think it'll be permanent.
In those 24 hours, that was very frustrating. Because then there were rumors, and again, I don't know how this comes out. If this is someone on the production team, if someone's leaking something, if this is strategic or not. Are we part of the social experiment now? I got no idea. But there was rumblings of the hamster wheel competition, and of course people are assuming then somebody is going to be eliminated. I was really personally hoping that they did the competition the exact same style as they did in reindeer games, but the person who lost was on the block. Something kind of more tame than somebody making
total
it to jury.
Elimination.
And just like, okay, goodbye. And so they only really on Unlocked, they're teasing the fact that they teased the set, more about Tyler there. They ended up like Tyler was like fake tasing the hosts and like taking over.
Okay.
And that was cute. That was whatever. And then the horrors sink in where my experience again, the feeds are back on at midnight Eastern time. I am glued to my screen and they are opening the feeds, and at this point I'm so foggy on who even was like the first people. We find out very quickly, I believe, that Ava's fine, Ava's in the house, that Will is fine and Ashley's there, and Kelly is giggling and like skipping through the backyard. She's not, she's just in a good mood. We are waiting anxiously to see who else is in the game. Of course, we see Morgan and Vince in the same bed, cuddling. No, it's not cuddling. It's just hugging. It's just human chemistry. I don't even think we see Morgan's face, and we know that it's Morgan, so we know that she's safe. And at some point, Lauren's in the kitchen, and I believe the last two people that are not seen on the live feeds are Keanu and Rachel. And then Keanu comes in, and I believe that's everybody that's left. And we know that Rachel's gone. And this is my first note for last Thursday, for last night, was the day Big Brother died. Rob, he who has podcast, declared a day of mourning, and everyone was very upset. Keanu is so upset. He's so sad looking at the memory wall. Her photo is in black and white. And so it's weird. We're just piecing together things. She's been eliminated. She's been sacrificed. Whatever it is. The word evicted is never once spoken because it would be wrong. And so that was my experience on Friday. And it was really hard. I'm texting people. And I'm like, and Chris doesn't even know yet. And I applaud the fact that you didn't know until last night, because people were outraged. And people are boycotting the show. They're boycotting feeds. They're canceling their Paramount subscriptions. I haven't looked yet today, but I'm very curious to see what the ratings were like. I personally watched the episode later when it was recorded. I don't know what that does for ratings. I wouldn't be surprised if they plummet more because people are saying season done. They're done. And people are like, well, people wouldn't be this upset if it was not Rachel. I agree.
Yeah.
People would not be as up in arms. However, I would still be very frustrated. People are saying once you see the episode, once you see how it went down, you would not be this upset if it was Kelly. That's still wrong. I think I would still be upset. I mean, do I want Kelly in the game? Not quite. But it's not fair that every other person had the chance to play the blockbuster. I mean, that's fact. Everybody who's been on the block had the opportunity to take themselves off with the blockbuster. And then let's say even a good half of them had the opportunity to play in the veto competition, and then they had the chance to play in the HOH competition. And the fact that it was the heart of the season in Rachel Riley is why there is so much frustration. She was never once on the block. There's not a single vote against her, and yet she's the first jury member.
And then when you put it that way, yes, I do agree. It is kind of crazy, especially because, I mean, everyone goes through the process. You get put up on the block, you lose the veto, you lose the blockbuster, you get sent home. That's how you get sent home. She didn't get sent home in the normal way. And it's I can 100% see how it can feel disjointed. Whether or not whoever won HOH, like if a completely separate set of people got put up and she would have went about it and got evicted this week the same exact way, it still would have been like the normal way that people get sent out of the house. I mean, I agree with the fact that it feels very short.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that they showed it. I mean, she kind of just had a little thing and then she left out the door and that was the end of the episode. I'm sure they're going to show more of the fallout.
I hope they do.
They definitely will.
I know we're crunched on time, but I will say I really hope that they show Ava, because my outlook on Ava has completely changed after her reaction to Rachel leaving. I think part of it is guilt because she could have changed the outcome. It's not directly her fault, but it is indirectly. I hope that they show these people all the house guests' reaction to Rachel leaving. I am devastated, I will say. The only good side is that Chris and I did not have her on our drafts, so we are
True.
I did lose Mickey, so Chris's losing streak has ended, and I'm not gonna lie, I think he needed this.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I'm not upset about that. Goodbye to Mickey. What an interesting player. And on the fate of Rachel Riley, I don't want to hold on to hope for nothing. You never know about a battle back. She doesn't have outside information because she is a jury member. And supposedly tomorrow night on Thursday, we are going to get some interview with Julie. So at least we're going to get that info tonight, Wednesday, September 10th.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
We're going to find out all about who won, head of household, who they decide to put up. Hopefully some of the fallout too, like you said, from the Tuesday night episode. Hopefully we find out the noms.
And well, that's what
veto,
they said.
and
they're
the
doing all
outcome.
of them. And it's going to be BB Comics. But
It
you already
is
know
BB
that.
Comics, and I can't wait to find out which comic has the Boston Terrier. Because there's one every year because the artist has a Boston Terrier. So I'm excited.
Really?
Even though I know the outcome.
Oh, wait. We talked about this
I love Boston. Yes. Shout out to my Boston at my crib.
Shout out to the dog. No, shout out to the dog
to my
at
dog
the crib.
at my crib.
Dog is at the crib.
You have been listening to 90.3 WMSC-FM Montclair. This has been the Diary Room.
Woo!
You can tune in same time next week where we'll be talking about all what happens tonight, tomorrow, and actually a Sunday episode returns. Thank you so much for listening. We are at the Diary Room, WMSC.WMSC on Instagram. Until next time.